my book. Like, not the right size, but that's okay. We pick and choose our battles. This TBR is haunting me. But this book is haunting me even more. However, is this YA? Look at the font. That should be criminal. Yep, it's a brick. Hi, besties. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I have sat down and filmed a video for you guys. I was traveling and then I got a sinus infection and then I had to get back in my routine. So it's been a minute, so I'm sorry it's been a while. I know I did not upload an August wrap up, but I'm going to include that with my September wrap up as well. So expect that here within the next week. Did you hear my dog chewing his bone? I'm so sorry. He wanted to start chewing it right when I hit record. So there's that. Also, this is what you're getting from me, a wrinkled t-shirt. Like, I don't know what else. I did my makeup very lightly. I did a darker lip because it just gives fall energy. So I have a bunch of books to talk about. So here's my coffee. And let's go ahead and start yapping about some books. Just fix that for you. This is very ambitious. I know it's ambitious. Don't expect me to read all of these, but I'm going to start using my October, November TBR jar specifically for these books, or try to include them. So yes. Starting off with the mystery thriller section, I want to read Stephen King's Billy Summers. I got this out of a thrift store and it's like in basically brand new condition. I've heard really good things about this. This is his, I think, like thriller crime book instead of horror, so I want to include this. All I know is that a detective does one last job and everything goes wrong. So there's that, and I want to read my first Stephen King novel. Next one is Lucy Foley's The Paris Apartment. I got this for a birthday a couple years ago, so I would love to get this onto my red shelf. The Resident of Number 12 Rue des Amants, a beautiful old apartment building in the city of light. The socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, the concierge, everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. See you in Paris. How fun. A book I want to read is James Patterson, 21st Birthday, and Maxine Petro. This book I got for my 21st birthday. I wanted to read it and that didn't happen, so maybe I can read it before I turn 24. I believe it's already been on my TBR for this long. I think I started it, but I didn't get very far into it. It says, a mother pleads with a detective, Lindsay Boxer, to investigate the disappearance of her 21-year-old daughter and her baby girl. So my grandma loves James Patterson, so I would love to talk about this book with her. And then the last thrillery book that I think is Mexican Gothic. I don't know if this is a thriller. I think it's just a Gothic, maybe Gothic fantasy. He's trying to poison me. He must come for me. Naomi, you have to save me. So I'm not quite sure. I got this at a thrift store too, and I would just love to switch things up. I've heard really good things about this. I think it's pretty highly rated. I could be totally wrong, but that is the last book in this stack. Moving on to just, I think, straight fantasy. There could be a romantasy elements in here, but I try to go in books as blind as possible, so there might be romance subplots or elements, but yeah. Okay, I know the first couple of books are definitely romantasy. The first book is Light Lark by Alex Asher. I've heard nothing but popular things about this. I still have the receipt in this. When did I get it? December of last year. So I would love to read this. All I know is that it's like a fantasy where an island disappears every year, but when it's surfaced, there's trials or something like that. It just says lie, cheat, betray. And I believe the third book is getting a lot of talk right now. Saba Tahir has a blurb on the front, so I would love to read this. If you've read it, let me know in the comments down below. So one of a newer book to my collection, it is Lovely War by Julie Berry. I got this because Ashlyn raved about this book, and then I think Haley Pham enjoyed this book, so I would love to understand it. They said, I think at the top, if you liked Divine Rivals, you'd like this book, which I just absolutely loved. I have like a whole little section on my shelf for that book. It says, in the perilous days of the wars 1 and 2, the gods held the fates and the hearts of the four mortals in their hands. So it just sounds like it's going to be a pretty maybe high stakes. I try not to go into books as blind as possible, so this is really hard for me to describe, but I've heard really good things about it. I would love to try a new author and read this book. Then I got Rush of Ravens by Abigail Breyer. I saw a Instagram reel of her entire process of writing her first novel. I think it's going to be like a 7-book series or something like that. I thought it was really admirable that her first book was sold at Barnes & Noble, so I decided to support a up-and-coming author. It just says Warrior, Shield Maiden, Cursed, and it's the Rise of the Raven series. I love all the detail on the chapter pages. Don't know much about it, but I would love to read it and then reach out to her. Bingo. I love you. Go away. Bingo. He does not care. I'm so sorry. The next book is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I think this is the second book. Yeah, book 2 of the Farseer trilogy. This thing is chunky monkey. It was already on a TBR, but I didn't read it because it's 679 pages. But currently I have the ebook and the audiobook, so I would love to immersive read this. Can't really say much, but it's just about Fitz chivalry and his excursions, his journeys, and yes. I absolutely loved Assassin's Apprentice, so I'm really excited to get back in this world. I loved Robin Hobb's writing. It felt like a classic fantasy, but with modern writing, so loved it, loved it, loved it. Hopefully I can get to this fall. Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I want to continue this series, maybe even read Assassin's Blade, because I think that's technically the next book in the order I'm reading it. Please don't come for me. But yeah, I would love to see where this picks up. And yeah, don't know much, but I'm so excited to be finally reading this series for the first time, because you can never do that again. Then I got this at the airport when traveling. It says How Does It Feel? The Infatuated Fae series by Janine O'Reilly. How do you say that name? Do you know how to say that name? Janine? That doesn't look like a Janine. Janine? I don't know. So sorry. I would love to read How Does It Feel? I saw a TikTok. It went viral based off the ending reaction, and I believe the second book is already out. So the back says a forbidden obsession, unyielding family allegiance, and 3 deadly challenges. So I have started this, but I put a pin in it because I just feel like it was better for the fall time. So, and it is a pretty shorter fantasy, but I've heard the ending is pretty crazy. I have 2 more adult fantasies. Book A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I feel like this went pretty viral earlier of this year. It says, her fate is inked in her blood. It's carved in her bones. This power is Freya's destiny. A shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting for her growing desire for his fiery son. And this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. Jeez Louise. Oh my gosh, look at the little chapter things have a design. I think the cover is really, really pretty. And book of the month in March. So I would love to get to it sometime this year. This fall. Then I have the September book of the month pick that I chose, and it is A Song to Drowned Rivers by Anne Leong. I don't know, but isn't this blue stunning? I love it. Her beauty hides a deadly purpose. In the front it says, inspired by the legend of Ishi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. One of the famous 4 beauties of ancient China, A Song to Drown Rivers is an epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of 2 kingdoms hangs in a delicate balance. So, sounds pretty good. My aunt got the book, so I figured maybe we could buddy read it together. And then I have 2 books here. I don't know if it's possible to get to these. It is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. So I did buy both of these because why the hell wouldn't I? Look at the covers. Aren't they so stunning? Like, this one gives more fall energy, but I think it's just the colors. I know that this is like a cozy fantasy. I'm pretty sure there's like a subplot of romance in my mind. Anyways, this is by Heather Fawcett. I love like these like raised edges, and I don't know, I just love this book. So I'm hoping the contents live up to... I've heard really good things about this. Rachel Kaplan absolutely loves it. So I'll give it a try. Obviously, the second book follows them, so I just paired them together. Realistically, get to the first one, but if I can, maybe get to the second. The next book I have is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard it's like a Matilda retelling-ish, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory-ish, because there's like a ticket or something like that. It looks like it's a pretty short book. It might be like under 300 pages. Oh my god, it's under 300 pages. I've also pushed off this audiobook on Libby for a long time, so I'm hoping that I will be able to put it on my shelf. And it says, years ago, a reclusive, mega best-selling author quit writing under mysterious circumstances. Suddenly, he resurfaces with a brand new book and one-of-a-kind competition, offering a prize that will change the winner's life. Make a wish. So, I really want to get to this book. I don't know if I've read anything by Meg Schaefer. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. Moving on to the YA books I have. Are you done? Go away. He's so excited right now because there's just a bunch of happening on this floor right now. Ah, excuse you. Bingo. Do not put it on my book. Off. Off. Get off. Bingo, you have a bed right there. Look at his tail. Oh my god. Hey, go lay down. Stay. Oh my goodness. Okay. That is what's currently happening. The first YA book I have is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I bought this box set, so I have them right here. I would love to start this. I've suspended the audiobook for so long. I think the map is stunning, so I'm really excited to try to get to this month. There's two sisters, one brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself. An intoxicating romance. I think I need to pick this up ASAP. Let me know if you read this series because I'm very excited. The next book is Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. Excuse me. I enjoyed Dance of Thieves. I think I was just reading too fast, so I might need to do like little spark notes of Dance of Thieves because it's been quite a while and I've read quite a lot of books since then. But I would love to finish this duology this year. I think like the maps in fantasy books and the covers are just the best. Look at the font. That should be criminal. It is so tiny. I'd love to knock off a series of my tracker in my book journal, so I'd love to get to this one. However, that doesn't mean shit because I want to start the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which again, I bought the other books right here. So I would like to start this because I do have Six of Crows as well. Look at the inside cover. Isn't that stunning? So it says Soldier, Summoner, Saint. And I really wanted to do this because it was on a Netflix show, but I think they removed it or they stopped making shows. I'm not quite sure. It says a master of fantasy. The darker it gets for the good guys, the better. Sultry, sweeping, picturesque, full of emotional and historical sophistication within Bardugo's original epic fantasy that sets it apart. And I love historical elements, so I think I'm going to really enjoy this. It's also YA, so it should be pretty fast-paced. Whoa, look at, there's like a bunch of letters. I don't want to read anything. But yes, I would hope to get to this. Guys, this book is haunting me, and there's a good chance I could have read it by the time I post this, but there's also a good chance I haven't because this TBR is haunting me. But this book is haunting me even more. I think it's been on 3 consecutive TBRs, and I think if you're a regular, you might know what I'm about to say. Why haven't I read this? Why haven't I read this? All I know is about a girl who inherits money. She doesn't know why. There might be a love triangle. There's there's riddles, etc. But I just love me some Jennifer Lynn Barnes's writing. If I didn't say the title, it's The Inheritance Games. I love her writing, and of course, I'm a silly person, and I've already gotten The Grandest Game. I've already gotten her newer series based off of this series, so I need to get to this year. It's on my 24 books I want to read in 2024. I don't know why that was so hard for me to just say, but yes, I would like to get to this and read it and start the series because I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy it. The last YA book, I believe, could be totally wrong on this, but the next YA book I have is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. I believe this came out, late last year, but I haven't gone around to it. I currently have the audiobook for it. Look at this large font. Like, that is just so satisfying. It says, 2 villains, 1 girl, and a deadly battle for her happily ever after. So I just heard not the best things about this book, which is why I've put it off for so long. But I think it's time to finally finish the series. I am currently waiting for them to release the paperback version so I can add it, because I have up there, which are fantasy. Why is it on the romance? Anyways, I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition paperback of the first 2 books, so I've been waiting. But I got this from the library. So we love the library. Go support your local library. I would like to knock off this series before the end of the year. Now going into romance, there are quite a few. First up, I have You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel. I've heard that this book is best for fall because I think it's set around that time. So I've heard nothing but really good things about this, and from my understanding, it's like a forced proximity. They're currently fiancés, but they want to break off the engagement, but because of the ties, they don't want to break it off, so they're trying to do everything they can to make them break off the engagement first, but then they end up falling in love through all of their actions again. So looking forward to this, and I just think it's going to be a cute little fluffy rom-com of a fall book. The next one, this was on my summer TBR, but I'm not quite sure. This is an emotional page-turning romance for fans of Colleen Hoover. Now, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest fan of Colleen Hoover, but I also don't understand why she gets so much hate. She got a lot of us into reading. I've read a decent amount of her books, so I think I'm going to enjoy this. It is meant to be by Tay Marley. We will see if I can get to this. Aw, the dedication says, to readers and dreamers. Like that. I think it's just a second chance romance, small town romance, forced proximity kind of thing. So if I am in the mood for an emotional read, you'll see a couple coming up. But if I want a romance heavy, this is perfect, I think. Then I have In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. If I don't like this book, I am not reading another book of hers, because I've read, I think, 3 at this point. Granted, some of them were audiobooks, but I just don't know if her writing is for me. However, is this YA? I'm not sure. But I've had this book for so long, and I don't know why. It's a shorty little book, and to me, it's just giving emotional. So yes, I would love to put this on my shelf. I do have to say though, I think this cover is really pretty with like the stars being foiled. I just hope it lives up to my expectations, because yeah, read in one sitting novel you won't forget. Hopefully it's a good won't forget. The next book is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I read the X-Hex last year, and I think I gave it 5 stars simply because it was comical. It was perfect for the time I read it. It was my first Bookstagram post, so I just have like a special place in my heart for that book. So I'm going in this book with a little bit of expectations, I cannot lie. I think it follows like the best friend and brother of the first book in this book. Follow-up of Erin Sterling's The X-Hex features fan favorite Gwyn and the spine-tingling Handsome Wells Penhallow as they battle a new band of witches and their own magical chemistry. Yep, I think I'm going to absolutely eat this up if I want a really spooky season book. I think this is like my only fall themed book I own. I might have just lied. but I'm really excited for this. Then we have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I bought this when I bought The 7-Year Slip. I feel like this is a perfect time to read it. I think she falls in love with a ghost or something like that. I absolutely sobbed The 7-Year Slip. I did not like a novel love story all that much, to be honest, so I'm a little hesitant to go into this book because I haven't really heard the best things, but I haven't heard the worst things, so we will see. Romance is dead, but this isn't what she had in mind. And then complete opposite. The only dark book I have is Hunting Adeline. Will I get to this? I don't know. My real life in-person book bestie loves this duology. So, yeah, she loves it. So she just said to be prepared for it. It says The Diamond, the Hunter. This book is a freaking chunker. I didn't want to look at the last page, but it says it is 649 pages. Okay. Yep. This is on my fall TBR though, because it's a duology. If I can knock off another series, I want to. So there we go. Yep. It's a brick. Emotional books that I want to read, and the last 3 books of this video are all by one author, and I'm sure you can just guess. No? Maybe. Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna, the literary fiction emotional queen she is. We have The Four Winds, and I don't know if I'm going to get to this one because it's giving more spring summer, because I believe it's during the Dust Bowl. But I'm just including it because I'm in the process of doing a Kristen Hanna reading vlog, so I would love to include this in there, obviously. Because sometimes when I close my eyes, I can still taste something because there's a sticker. I don't know what it says. She will discover the best of herself in the worst of times. Doesn't that just sound beautiful? And also this cover, I had the paperback version, but I got this off of Pango because I wanted the paperback, and I loved this edition of it, but it's like not the right size, but that's okay. We pick and choose our battles. So, and then the next books I have are The Nightingale and Firefly Lane. I think these are like the most loved, hyped up books by her. I currently tabbed out The Nightingale because I'm going to buddy read this with my grandma within the next month or two. Within the next month, let's be real. This one's also a chunker. It is 567 pages, but I just know that I'm going to love this, and it's going to change my reading chemistry forever after I read it. So I'm including it because yes. Again, this one's kind of giving more spring, summer time to me, just based off of like what I know about it. However, I do want to read it, and this is Kristen Hanna, Firefly Lane. And I believe it's just like 2 best friends going through decades of friendship and loss and love and all of that kind of stuff. So sometimes a novel comes along that speaks to a generation. This book is dedicated to us, the girls, friends who see another through the hard times, big and small, year in, year out. You know who you are. Thanks. To the people who make up so many of my memories, my father, Lawrence, my brother, Kent, my sister, Laura, my husband, Benjamin, and my son, Tucker. Wherever we all go in the world, you are in my heart. And to my mom, who inspires so many of my novels, this one most of all. I just love her. I love Kristen Hanna's writing. So I think if I'm in the mood for a palate cleanser or an emotional read, I'm going to pick up one of these. I actually don't know how many books I just listed, but let's count. 29 books. Can I do it? No. This is unrealistic. I'm not going to read all of these books, but these are the books that if I am doing my TBR jar, I'm going to try to pull these books. Is it literally more than half of my TBR cart? Yes. However, I still want to try. So let me know what is on your fall TBR this year. Have you read any of these books? Are any of these books on your TBR? Let's chat in the comments down below. If you are here, leave the leaves emoji because it's just fall time. And I hope to see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye guys.